Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to just jump on and make a quick video about the really unfortunate incidents about what happened with the four divers who I guess they still have not recovered yet. First, let me say like I know nothing about diving and their job and all of that, the nitty-gritty about it. I know nothing about that, but I do know a little bit about OSH or OSHA, however you want to refer to it, and how systems work when things happen. And I wanted to make a video because I've been really disappointed with some of the comments that I've been seeing and things that people are saying, and basically like wanting to almost dox I think it's the CEO or whatever of the company, and saying saying people should be charged for murder and stuff. I think it's incident is extremely unfortunate, but I think what is happening is we're coming from a very emotional place, as we often do, and I think it's very important to understand just the scope of things and how things work when incidents do happen. So first, let me say, I really feel for the families. I'm praying for them, especially all of them. I mean, it's really sad and tragic. People, there's so much loss going on, and for this additional loss, I can't even imagine how they are coping with this situation. I pray for them. I pray that they get some peace. I pray that they have the strength to keep on keeping on, and I just pray that things will settle for them. Just to give you a little background, I used to work for a company in America, and things like OSH and OSHA were very important, and we had several trainings on things like that. Like proper safety precautions that needs to be taken when you go on a job site and all kinds of stuff. I've been in a manhole before, and so I know that things are always structured. And just from that experience that I've had, I know that our OSHA systems in Trinidad and Tobago is completely below standard. I could tell you that immediately. I mean, I often see one person on a ladder fixing a line by himself. That should never happen. You should never be by yourself on a job site. Never. That's just like the basic. You should never be by yourself. So I know that our systems are already in a mess. But one thing I would say is that in my training, they had one of the situations they always spoke to us about was the case of what happened at I think it was like an apple farm or something like that. So I guess in an apple farm, you have like a room or whatever that you flood with nitrogen or nitrogen gas, because that's what gives the apples their sheen, because apples are not really that nice and shiny, right? They have like a room where they have nitrogen, and I think they do, I don't really know all the mechanics of it. They do something with reverse air or something like that, so somebody went in, I think something was malfunctioning, somebody went in, or maybe he didn't do the proper checks or whatever. He collapsed and died. Somebody who worked with him saw that he went in and died, so he went in behind him. He collapsed and died. Then a third man, he saw two people inside there collapsed. You know what he did? He went in, and you know what happened? He died. So that story they told us was to say, when an incident happens, your first reaction is to go in to save somebody, right? That's always your first inclination, because you're like, oh my gosh, this happened. Let me go and grab them. And in that case, instead of saving one person or recovering one person, you have to now recover three people, because they did not wait for the situation to stabilize until it was safe for them to get that person inside there. So they put themselves at risk. So now somebody else has to come and save you. And similar, there was an incident with like when somebody went inside a deep manhole. So like what you do when you go in manholes is like you test the air level at different heights, right? And to make sure the air is proper. So I guess the guy went in, and maybe he went in lower than the last point they checked. So the air was not good there. So he collapsed. So you know what his partner did? Went in behind him, and he collapsed. And then a third person was about to go in, and then they stopped him. So when incidents happen, you immediately stop. You do not do anything, you stop. So I know the argument is, when they went in, and they realized something happened. Somebody jumped in, right? Some guy jumped in and was able to rescue one. And then he was going to go back and rescue the next one who was right behind him. He went in without any permission. And that's because that's our inclination. We want to rescue people, like if something happens, we want to jump in and help. But that could have been a situation where it turned in, instead of 5, it could have been 6. Or it ended up that it was fortunate he got that guy, but doesn't mean he would have gotten the next guy. And it's sad to say, because you don't ever want to see, because you can see somebody right there. It's very hard. You see somebody right there in danger. You want to go and help them. But until you know what the situation is, you cannot do that. And the company, they could be liable. They cannot give you permission to go in there. So they have to lock it down. They have to lock it down and see what the problem was. So it may be, when the investigation is done, that you can see that there were so many holes and so many things that were, lapsing. That's fine to investigate and see, but you have to go through that process. You cannot now call this man a murderer before the investigation takes place. You can't say he needs to be charged for murder before everything is done to see what was put in place. He could not have allowed people to go in there without understanding the full scope of the situation. There's a process. Well, there should be a process. There should be a written process for when things happen. Of course, you do contingency planning, but you can't plan for everything. Sometimes things happen. And you have to lock it down. You have to make sure you understand the situation before you send somebody inside to rescue somebody, because you are going to put that person in danger, and they cannot do that. They cannot give that permission. So I think, it's like, let us wait. Let us wait to see what the situation was. A full report must be done. Whenever an incident happens, it must be done. You have to go through the process and see where were the holes, where were the inconsistencies, where were, things that lapsing in judgment, where were all these things? Did we have proper safety protocols? Did we have all the information? Was this done properly? But there must be an investigation, and we need to let that happen. We have to stop being so emotional, because the way people are talking right now, it's almost like they want to go to the man's house and drag him out. But you can't do that. It has a process. Allow the process to happen. This is the same thing that, with the situation whenever, unfortunately, a girl is killed by somebody. You're going to immediately jump on the Law Association and say, look, the bail amendment bill or whatever. But if you read what their opinion is and why they are saying that we do not advise changing, amending the how the bail is currently set up at this time, it makes sense. Our laws are such that we do not fight crime any proper way in this country. I'm sorry. Beating a confession out of somebody in the 21st century is ridiculous. That's why we always have a revolving door of suspects. Or not you, okay, next one. Not you, this one. I mean, come on. You cannot put an amendment on bail because you reacted to a situation that happened. How is that a teachable moment? How are we going to learn anything from that? And how are we going to learn anything from this? If all we want to do now is basically string the man up. I mean, oh gosh, come on. I understand it's a very emotional situation. It's extremely sad for people. Extremely, extremely sad. But the investigation needs to be done. Allow them to do that. And they can't send people in without understanding what the situation is. You can't do that. And I understand why they had to lock it down. And I really hope that we, start to really think about this. Stop being so emotional and sharing things and all this venom and stuff. Let's take a step back and understand. You cannot just do these knee-jerk reactions, okay? You can't do that. I really, I pray for the family. I really hope that they find some peace, because it's a really hard situation, and it's been tough anyway. The last 2 years have been tough anyway with everything that's been going on. And this additional thing is a lot. It's too much. But you know what? Let us let things take place as they need to take place. And please, let's stop just being so ready to just, the court of public opinion, ready to just put somebody away. We have to figure out what went on, because what we're doing right now is not helping anybody. So I hope, this helps with a little more information. I don't have all the answers or anything like that, but I do know a little bit about how things work when there's an incident. And I really hope that we stop and think and stop being so reactive, because that's not teachable at all. So guys, as I said, I pray for the family. I pray for peace. I hope, I really hope that they, find the peace in themselves and the strength to carry on. And, I hope that they're able to recover the men, and that, we could somehow heal from all of this. So, okay guys, happy Carnival. I know it's not the Carnival that we are accustomed to, but hopefully we have better days coming ahead. Bye.